So yesterday, Mrs. Syphard learned you can't turn your camera sideways or then your video is sideways. So hopefully today the book is facing the right direction. Our book today is called The Worst Day of My Life Ever. Right away, just looking at the illustration, I can see lots of things that went wrong. My name is RJ, and today I had the worst day of my life ever. When I woke up, there was gum stuck in my hair. RJ, I told you not to go to bed with gum in your mouth. Oh, look, it's even on his pillow. I was late getting to school because I missed the bus. RJ, I told you the bus always comes at 8:15. I didn't get to go to morning recess because I got caught running in the halls. I was just trying to get to class on time. RJ, I've told you before, we don't run in the halls. I got sent to the principal's office for wearing my favorite hat to school. I was just trying to cover up the gum in my hair. RJ, I've told you before, we don't wear hats in school. I got a 0 on my math paper because I did all the odds instead of the evens. RJ, I told you yesterday, do the evens, not the odds. My friends got mad at me when I kicked a goal for the other team. RJ, we told you, kick this way. When I finally got back home from school, I decided to make pancakes, but I accidentally, not on purpose, made a big mess in the kitchen. RJ, the recipe says use 1 to 2 eggs, not 12 eggs. Oops. My mom got angry with me and I started to cry. Then I told her about the worst day of my life ever. Do you ever have a day where you feel like every single thing goes wrong and then finally something makes you get very upset and you start to cry over all those bad things? RJ, you just need to work on doing 2 things: listening more carefully and following instructions. If you will do that, your life will be so much easier. That's funny. My teacher said that exact same thing to me today at school. And he has a thought bubble. He's making himself a checklist of what his mom is telling him. Listening, following instructions. The truth is, I hear what people say most of the time, but instructions are boring and listening is hard. I think it's more fun when I am in charge. Hearing people talk and listening carefully to what they have to say are 2 different things, and everyone in this world has to learn how to follow instructions, even you. To really listen to someone, this is what you need to do. Look right at the person who's talking to you. Please do not speak until she is through. Show that you've heard what she's trying to say by nodding your head and saying, okay. When you need to follow instructions, this is what you should do. Look right at the person who is talking to you. Say okay to the person as soon as he's through. Do what you've been asked and do it right now. When you're finished, check back with him. Now you know how. RJ, if you had listened more carefully, you would have remembered me telling you about the bus comes at 8:15. If you had listened more carefully, you would have been on time for school, and you wouldn't have had to miss recess for running in the hall. So he's imagining what recess would have been like if he had it. RJ, if you'd been better about following instructions, you would have thrown away your gum before you went to bed. Then you wouldn't have gum in your hair right now. And you wouldn't have had to go to the principal's office for wearing a hat in school to hide the gum in your hair. If you had been better about following instructions, you would have gotten a much better grade on your math paper. Your friends wouldn't be mad at you, and you wouldn't have made such a big mess in the kitchen and used up all of our eggs. So again, he's imagining if things had went the right way. The way I see it, if you had listened more carefully and followed instructions, you could have had a great day. Later that night when I went to bed, I thought a lot about what my mom had said. The last thing I wanted was another bad day. I guess I should listen to what others say. If I follow instructions and I do what I'm told, I'll stay out of trouble until I grow old. I took the gum out of my mouth and threw it away, and then I went to sleep. When I woke up the next morning, my hair was gum-free, so I didn't need to wear a hat to school. I made it to the bus by 8:15. I didn't have to run in the hallway to get to class on time. My teacher was proud of me for following instructions, and I got a good grade on my math assignment because I did all the right problems. My friends cheered me on when I kicked a goal for our team. And when I got home from school, I even made pancakes the right way. Today was the best day of my life ever. I guess my mom was right. Hearing and listening are just not the same. When I choose not to listen, I guess I'm to blame. Following instructions might not be too fun, but when I do it correctly, I can get a lot done. P.S. Don't forget to take the gum out of your mouth and throw it away before you go to sleep. That's the end. I did make questions for my friends today. We can even play a little game. You can give yourself a point for each question you get correct. It looks like I've got maybe 8. So, and if you need to pause the video while you answer the question out loud, you can do that too, but I'll also give you wait time. So let's look at the first question. What kind of text is this? So would we say it's fiction? Remember, fiction is fake, pretend. Is it nonfiction? Is it real? So we can say that this book is fiction. It is fake. It was made up, but it's realistic fiction. So it's something that could happen. There was no talking bunny. There was no talking cat. The characters were real people. Nothing super crazy happened. So although it was a fake fiction story, it's a realistic fiction. It could happen. Okay, if you got that right, give yourself a point. Okay, second question. Who is telling the story? So that's the same thing as Mrs. Syphard asking you, who is the narrator? Who is the narrator? While you're thinking, I'm just flipping to my first page. If you said RJ, you're correct. Look at the first sentence. My name is RJ. That right there says that RJ is speaking. RJ is the storyteller. If you got that question right, give yourself another point. Question 3. What happened first to RJ? What was the first thing that started off his really bad day? Take a second to think about it. I'm going to get ready to turn the page to show my friends the answer. If you said that RJ woke up with gum in his hair, then you are correct. You can give yourself a third point. Okay, my next question is, what time does the bus always come every day? And I'm going to wait just a minute. Okay, if you said 8:15, you're correct. RJ, I told you the bus always comes at 8:15. Okay, if you got that right, give yourself another point. Next up, what game did RJ play with his friends? And I'll give you a second. I'm going to start flipping to find the page to show you the answer. Okay, if you said soccer, you were correct. He liked to play soccer with his friends. He had a bad day because he kicked it in the wrong goal. So if you got that right, you can give yourself another point. Okay, what mistake did RJ make on his math paper? And I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay. He did the wrong set of problems. RJ's teacher asked him to complete the even problems. So numbers 2, 4, 6, 8. But RJ did the opposite. He did the odds. He did 1, 3, and 5. Since he didn't do the evens, he got them marked wrong and he got a 0. If you got that correct, you can give yourself another point. All right. What happened to his pancakes? Not at the end of the story, but the time he made them on his bad day. What happened to his pancakes? Well, his pancakes didn't turn out right because he didn't follow the recipe. He was supposed to use 1 to 2 eggs, but he used 12. So not only did his pancakes not turn out, he made a big mess in the kitchen, and he used up all of the eggs. If you got that right, give yourself another point. For the last one, it's going to be a fill in the blank. So if you look all the way at the bottom in the green, when you listen and follow directions or instructions, blank. So think about it for a minute. We can say that when you listen and follow directions and instructions, then you can have the best day too, just like RJ. You stay out of trouble that way. You do things the right way. So that was my last question. For your writing today, I have several choices for you. So let me flip that back. If you want to write about something that is related to our book, The Worst Day of My Life, I have 2 choices. So the first option would be tell about a bad day that you had. What happened? How did you feel? Did your day get better? Did you learn any lessons? So when RJ had his bad day, he learned a lesson. He learned that when he's listening and following instructions, he can have a better, great day. So I'll keep my camera here just for a second. The second option that's related to the story, why is it important to listen and follow directions? What can you do to show that you are listening and paying attention? So our book talked about things you can do with your body to show that you're listening and following directions. Real quick, I'm flipping to the page that has the list. I'll hold it still for just a moment. You can pause if you need to. That way you can have more time. And then when I made this lesson the other day, it didn't even occur to me that it was St. Patrick's Day. So your other option would be to not write about the story. And you could instead do a St. Patty's Day writing. Something creative like, what would you do if you found a leprechaun's pot of gold? So your choice, totally optional. Just have fun with it and enjoy your day. If you do any writing, feel free to have somebody film you reading it out loud. And then I will post it to your dojo and I'll log in and check it out. Have a really great day, everybody.